As mentioned in the first episode of Dark Disturbances, AlterWorld's origins can be traced back to 2003 with the haunting of the house where me and my brother Chris lived at the time. Although unexplained phenomena occurred at random in the house on Clark Street for years, it wasn't until me, Chris, and our cousin Daryl began investigating this activity that it escalated in both frequency and aggressiveness. After 20 years, we're finally telling the entire story.
I came back 2 weekends later. I want to say it was September 6th. And this time I came prepared. I came with my dad's work flashlight. And I had every intention of going up in that attic a lot. I dubbed the flashlight the Green Lantern.
Even though it was red.
I have no idea why I did that.
If I remember right, he called it that because of how bright it was, but also because it was our quote-unquote savior against the spirits in the house. On the first night of our second hunt, my then-girlfriend and now wife, Samantha, joined us.
We went upstairs, and the first thing that we discovered was that there was a brand new handprint in the drum room where we all know there wasn't one 2 weeks prior.
Where did you find the other one?
In there. In the kitchen room.
Did you see that here?
That was not here last time we was here.
No, that wasn't, dude.
That was not here.
That was not fucking here.
I'm serious, that was not here.
That is not here,
I'm
dude.
getting freaked out already, dude.
None of us had been upstairs since the first hunt we had, so we were dumbfounded as to how the print ended up there.
Aside from the discovery of the new handprint the first night, and Chris seeing something move in the attic the second night, which would have been Sunday, not much else happened those first 2 nights.
Wasn't a whole lot going on from what I remember, but so we were gonna head back down, and I think Daryl just turned off the camera.
I'll pause it so I don't have to... Something move? Where?
See where the bucket's at?
Yeah.
I saw something move, I swear to God.
I saw something move. We turned the light back on, we turned the camera on. We're trying to look over there, and I don't think we caught anything from what I remember, but I know I definitely saw something.
If there was any other activity happening those first 2 nights, it was so minor that we didn't notice any of it.
For most of the second hunt, we were completely bored.
And we were kind of spoiled from the first investigation.
There wasn't much going on compared to what happened before, so we spent a lot of time hanging out in the drum room waiting for something, hell, anything to happen. While we waited for something to happen, we decided to do stupid stuff like we usually always did when we got together.
Sitting here in this room, an evil, ghastly face appeared. A face that could only be from hell. And when it looked at me, it made only one proclamation. I'm Batman.
That's a good burger! Oh, son of a bitch. I lost my way or something.
I got fucking son of a bitch. Hit the fucking head of that motherfucker.
Good. You got one on you?
Robert, Daryl, and Chris, paranormal investigators with Tourette syndrome.
God damn it.
But then Monday night rolled around. Chris was gone. I'm not sure where he was at. Robert and Aunt Sandra were next door visiting my grandfather. And I was like, well, I had the house to myself. I might as well give it one last crack here before I gotta go home. So I took the camera and I went upstairs. And almost immediately I noticed this very, almost palpable feeling of something that was just waiting to happen, but I didn't know what. That's the best way I can explain it. I kept going up into the attic, looking around, waiting for something to happen. Nothing would happen. Go back downstairs. Then Robert came back, and I filled him in on what was going on, which wasn't much, but I think he kind of had the same feeling that I did, that something was going to happen. We just had to stick with it. So we decided to go up into the attic one last time.
Daryl went up into the attic, and I stayed by the stairs filming.
And I can remember making my way into the attic, and everything felt pretty normal. I started talking to Robert about these nails that were jutting out of the ceiling, and I heard what I thought was Robert breathing. I can remember turning around and asking him,
That you?
it was like somebody had a volume knob and was turning it up.
We heard what I can only describe as a snarling breathing.
There's no breathing.
To this day, I can't explain to you why the camera's audio did not pick up that breathing. I heard it. Robert heard it. If Robert heard it, then the camera's microphone should have picked it up, but I don't know why it didn't. At first, it was just like a normal heavy breathing you would hear after somebody ran up the stairs or something. But then it changed and it became more animalistic, more like a snarling. I completely froze.
We were frozen in our tracks, trying to make sense of what we were hearing and trying to see if we could capture the evidence on our crappy potato camera.
I didn't know what to do. I don't know if it was dead straight in front of me, off to my left, or off to my right. I really couldn't tell you. The noise was just kind of filling that whole area.
Then I felt a cold breeze go past me.
And some numbnuts flies down Greenwood Avenue laying on his horn. And for some reason, that kind of broke the spell of what was happening.
Then just as suddenly as it had started, the breathing stopped.
It died down, like somebody who was controlling that volume knob turned it down rapidly. And I can remember still standing up there for a few seconds. And then finally I turned around.
Let's get the fuck out of here.
And then I got out of that attic as fast as I could. Which wasn't fast enough if you ask me. And so I got downstairs, and me and Robert, we were discussing it. And I kind of had a, for lack of a better term, I had a freak out.
Fucking shit. That was fucking freaky as fuck.
I felt like I was on the verge of a panic attack.
That was definitely the creepiest thing that happened during that hunt.
Need something to grab my leg. I'm serious, I felt something pinch my leg.
And then that's when we were like, okay, let's go.
This is us signing off.
I was very eager to look over that footage just because of, the magnitude of what had happened. I watched the footage, and it was probably the biggest disappointment of my life.
That you?
Yeah. I'm just kind of following the stairs here.
There's no breathing.
Just there.
But, the camera picked up other noises. You can hear these kind of like little bouncing footsteps and this whistling breeze. It was a pretty shitty consolation prize for what we actually encountered up there. I go back home, And a little over a week later, I remember getting this email from Chris.
I think it was like a week or so after Daryl had left, and I was out in the living room at the time, and I was watching TV, and in order to get to my bedroom, you had to go through the dining room area. I was seeing something out there, kind of like out of the corner of my eye. I just tired, just whatever, just disregarding it. So, get tired enough, decided to go lay down on my bed, and I go into the living room, or to the dining room, sorry. And I'm never gonna forget it. I remember pushing on my bedroom door, and as soon as I start pushing on it, just this darkness was enveloping, and it was like an unnatural kind of darkness in my room. And it felt like someone had reached into my chest. It felt like it was like a hand just compressing down on my heart. And I was having a hard time breathing. I thought I was having a heart attack, and I couldn't really say anything either. And I just remember just rushing into the door, and as soon as I turned the light on, you know, the compressions went away, and then I heard all this commotion going on upstairs. It's almost like the light whisked it away back to its darkness upstairs. But after the attack, I'm just going to call it the attack, I emailed Daryl, and the whole time I could hear stuff going on upstairs. And it was only me and my mom was there at the time. We were both downstairs, maybe about an hour or less than that. It finally all settled down. I made sure everything was quiet upstairs, and then after that, you know, I was able to finally go to bed.
And you know, I was just trying to process everything that Chris had said in the email. And my first reaction was, okay, motherfucker, you're going to try to hurt my cousin. You're going to try to blow his heart out of his fucking chest. I'm coming for your ass. I just chalk it up to, you know, testosterone, being young, having something to prove. But that's your first reaction when, you know, somebody attacks your family. But I could just remember in the days leading up to me going back over to the house for the next investigation, my logical side just kept telling me, okay, yeah, go over there and pick a fight and see what happens, because you know, can't stomp the shit out of something you can't see or can't touch. I mean, how do you fight something like that?